Hi everyone, I'm Claire. Welcome to this grounding practice. So it will still have some energetic parts, but the focus today is going to be on really connecting to the feeling of being grounded, of feeling at home in your own body, of feeling at home in your own thoughts, in your breath, and feeling just really connected to this practice, to perhaps just breathing that little bit deeper and perhaps just slowing down as you move from one pose into the next. So even though we will get some speed up, it doesn't have to feel like a rush. It can just feel like you're taking it at your own pace. Let's come to lie down on your back in Shavasana. Have your feet towards the front of the mat. Get comfortable and have your head towards the back. Arms are down by the sides. Now traditionally in Shavasana the hands are palm up, but to feel a bit more grounded today, to feel that connection with the floor beneath you, turn your hands so that the palms are down. Spread your fingers and feel whatever it is that you're lying on, whether it's a mat, whether it's a wooden floor, whether it's a carpet. Just feel whatever textures, whatever temperatures. And then let the rest of your body feel a bit heavier. And take this moment to notice the weight of the back of the skull. Notice the parts of your spine that touch the ground, and also notice the parts that don't. Notice the weight of the pelvis, weight of your arms, weight of your legs. Start to breathe in a way that you feel is grounding. Is it a steady breath? Is it a deep breath? Let's just take 10 breaths as you start to establish a pattern. So however you're choosing to breathe, there should be some sort of rhythm to the breath. It doesn't need to feel very uplifting, it doesn't need to feel energetic. It should feel quite safe and steady. It should feel like it grounds you. Take a moment to set an intention for this practice. Maybe an intention today is how you're going to treat your body, or how you're going to practice, with what kind of energy, with what kind of quality. Bring your hands over your heart. One can go on top of the other one. Can you feel the weight of your hands just on your chest? They don't have to press in. They just have to feel like you're not really making any effort, that they've just become heavy, almost like lead. And still your breath is the same, unaffected by this, but you're aware of the heaviness, of the feeling of slightly pressing you more into the floor. Take a big inhale and a big exhale. And returning to your pattern of breath, Blink your eyes open. We'll bring the feet flat on the floor with the knees up towards the ceiling. So your feet don't need to be too close to your body, that's fine. And lift up into a low bridge. So this doesn't have to be really high with the hips. In fact, lower is good. And then try and lengthen your lower back. So rather than scrunching up the lower back and going into a bit of a back bend, imagine that you're sending your tailbone away from you, lengthening through the spine. Take your both hands and take them up overhead, behind you along the floor. Interlace your fingers and just press the palms away from you. So getting that stretch through the shoulders, still holding that low bridge. And in your low bridge, just feel ever so slightly like you're squeezing your thighs towards each other, almost like you're holding something between the thighs at the tops of the legs. Feel the connection to the floor with your feet. Keep lengthening that lower back, hopefully feeling the glutes. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, lower the spine and take your arms all the way down. The fingers can stay interlaced. Inhale, lift up and just go back to where you were. So again, you don't have to go very high here with the spine, with the hips, but just try and lengthen your lower back. Push into the heels, squeeze the thighs together. And slowly lower down, exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more, inhale to lift up. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, lower all the way. Back down. Nice. Bring your knees to the chest. Squeeze them in. And rock forwards and backwards, side to side, whatever you want to do for a moment. Bring yourself slowly all the way up. Maybe a couple of rocks up and down the spine. Cross your ankles if you can. Hands down. Step back into child's pose so the knees come wide. Toes touch. Drop your forehead down. Spread your fingers out. Check back in with your breath when you're here, making sure the breath is the same as it just was. And just go back to feeling every part of the ground beneath you. What does it feel like? Where is the pressure? Where is the weight? Slowly lift your body up into tabletop. So the hands might drag in. The shoulders will come over the wrists. The knees will be just slightly underneath the front of the hips. Drop the belly, lift the head, lift the tail into cow pose. Exhale round through the spine, tuck the chin to the chest into cat. Inhale, come all the way back through. Long exhale, round the body back. Just keep going, take these cat-cows at your own pace. Spreading fingers wide, pressing into the floor with the hands. If it feels okay here, close your eyes and just take a few of these with the eyes closed. And you know what? It feels nice for a lot of us if we start to move a little bit side to side, forwards, backwards, at the same time as we flex and extend the spine. Okay, whenever you're ready, come back to neutral tabletop. We're going to slide the right shin just slightly to the right hand side, only a little bit. If you're wobbly, you can take it further. We can play with this. Send the left leg back, lift the left arm up, modified side plank. So look down, make sure your right wrist is under the shoulder. What we don't really want is the hand to be really far forward. We're going to stack the bones of the arms here and find some length. And then we're going to lift up that back leg into the air. So left leg is right up in the air now. Take your left hand onto the top of your left thigh and then push up into the hand. So imagine you're really trying to push your leg up into your hand, pushing your hand towards the ceiling. Keep also pushing the hips a little bit forwards at the same time. And come back to tabletop. Take one round of cat-cow. Drop the belly, lift the gaze, lift the tail. Round all the way through the spine. Come back to neutral. Slide your left shin out, slide the right leg back. Lift up, lift the leg. Right hand can come onto the top of your right thigh. And then keep pushing up into that hand. Keep lifting, lifting. Find a spot to look at for your focus. Keep driving the hips a little bit forwards. Engage the glutes. Press into the ground. And come all the way back, tabletop. One round of cat-cow. Okay, let's come to downwards facing dog. Walk your hands a little bit further forwards. Really take up space with the hands. Spread those fingers. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Spine is trying its hardest to be as straight as possible. Legs do not have to be straight at all. Bend your knees. Really make sure you've got that weight through the hands. We're really pressing down here. And try to avoid collapsing into your shoulders. So don't sink towards the ground with the chest, but lift the front of your body, the front of the torso. Pull it back into your spine. Start to walk your feet slowly to the front of the mat. If you can keep the hands flat, then do. Bend your knees a lot and just hang here. Maybe take hold of opposite elbows. Maybe just let the fingertips trace the floor. Definitely bend the knees. Maybe give the head a shake, yes and no. We're going to slowly roll up through the spine, really ground the feet into the floor, bend the knees, even drag the hands up the front of the shins. Slowly roll up piece by piece. Restack your body. Come up to standing. Stand tall. Just like we put our hands over our heart at the beginning of the practice, put one hand on the top of your head, on the crown of the head, and then place the other hand just on top of it. Feel the weight of your hands. So you don't really have to push, but just let your hands feel heavy. And stand tall. And imagine here that this pressure is going through the head, down through the neck, through the spine, through your legs, down through the heels, into the ground. And close your eyes, just breathe. Feel like your feet are connecting to the ground even more through this pressure that comes from the crown of the head down through the body. Okay, release your hands. Bring your hands to prayer at the heart center. Blink open the eyes. Surya A. You can add on variations if you have them. Inhale, lift the hands. Exhale, forward fold. Trying to keep as straight a spine as possible. Inhale, lift halfway. Step back into plank. Lower the knees or lower slowly to the floor without the knees. Up dog or low cobra. Probably low cobra for this first round. Downwards facing dog. Lift the hips up and back. Lengthen your spine. Pull the front of the torso into the back, into the spine. And if you want to move around, you can, or you can stay still. Up to you. Let's add on. Let's drop the knees to the floor, come into tabletop. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the head. Exhale, round through the spine, chin to the chest. One more cat-cow, inhale through. And exhale, round the body back. Side plank on the right side, right shin out to the side, push the left leg back. If you prefer a full side plank here, you can stack the feet one on top of the other. Otherwise, stay with modified. It's up to you. Lift the back leg, lift it higher and higher and higher. You don't need to have the hand here now, but you can if you want to. Otherwise, keep lifting. And then with control, step that left foot about 6 inches to the left of that right hand. Keep the left arm up in the air. And the right shin is back in line now. Twist the rib cage. You can look up or down, or let the head hang to the side. Find this twist through the spine. Take both hands down. Step your back foot to meet the front foot at the front of the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold down. Inhale, lift to standing. Exhale, hands to prayer, heart center. Same on the second leg. Inhale to rise the hands. Exhale, forward fold down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step or jump to plank. Chaturanga or lower with or without knees, up to you. Up dog or low cobra, again it's your choice. Exhale, downwards facing dog. Take a breath. Any movement or stay still, that's up to you. Drop your knees. 2 rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, round the spine, chin to the chest. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, round all the way back. Left shin out to the side or full side plank, up to you, but make sure your shoulder is right over your wrist. Lift up. And if you're going to do this modified version like me, then what we can do from here is bring that right leg up in the air, hold it here and keep on lifting higher and higher and higher and higher. Feel engagement. Slowly step the right foot about 6 inches away from the left hand, left shin back in line. Open up the rib cage. Okay, from here, take both hands down, step to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale as you forward fold. Inhale, lift up to standing. Hands to prayer, heart center, just one Surya A now. Inhale, lift the hands. Exhale, forward fold to the floor. Inhale, lift halfway. Step or jump into plank. Chaturanga or lower with or without knees, however you'd like to do it. Low cobra or full up dog, your choice. Exhale, downwards facing dog. Take a breath. From downwards facing dog, walk your hands to your feet. At the back of the mat, take your time. Stay in a forward fold when you get there. Bend your knees a lot and bring your hands onto the bottom of your shins. And then try and get some length in your spine, so almost feel like you're sitting back a little bit. Really try and get as much length as you can through your spine. Start to drag your hands up the shins as you come all the way up to standing, keeping the hands connected to your legs. So at the back of the mat, we're just going to do this a few times. Try to keep your spine nice and long, hands on the tops of the legs. Start to take them down, but we're going to bend the knees and almost send your hips backwards at the same time. So you're trying to go all the way down to the bottom of the shins, keeping as straight a spine as you can. So we're not going to round the spine forwards, come all the way back up. So we can go a bit quicker. If you prefer, fingers can come into the creases here, so you can really feel those creases getting deeper and deeper. And slide the hands down, slide all the way back up. Take a couple more. One more. Okay, next time you're down there, stay down there. And we're going to crawl to the front of the mat. So keep your hips in the air like a down dog. Walk your hands forwards. You can bend the knees and just crawl your way all the way to the front. Lift halfway, inhale. Exhale, fold. Come all the way up to stand. Lift the arms. Hands to prayer. Heart center. Okay. Utkatasana, chair pose. Bend your knees, sweep your arms up into the air. And exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, lift halfway. And step back into plank. Chaturanga or lower, however you wish to today. Up dog or low cobra. Exhale back into downwards facing dog. Take a breath. From downwards facing dog, lift the right leg up in the air and then step it through in between the hands without lifting your hands off the floor. Keep the back leg lifted. And then we're going to lift the right arm up into the air, so we're in a twisted crescent. Try and let your right hip, your right glute, press a bit down towards the floor. Let your head just hang in line with the spine. And then both hands come down, step back, plank pose. Chaturanga or lower to the floor. Up dog or a low cobra. Exhale, downwards facing dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, step it through, try not to lift your hands. Keep the back leg lifted, adjust if you need to. Lift the left arm up into the air, find your twisted crescent. Head can just sort of hang here, that's okay. And then both hands down, step back to plank. And take your vinyasa with your breath. Meeting in downwards facing dog. Take 3 breaths. Step, jump or walk, whatever you want to do to get to the front. Inhale halfway. Exhale, forward fold down. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Bend the knees, arms rise. And come all the way up to standing at the top of the mat. So slightly different this time. From the front of the mat, take a big inhale, Utkatasana chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step or jump back plank. Chaturanga Dandasana or lower knees or very slowly to the floor. Up dog or low cobra. Exhale, downwards facing dog, lift the hips. Take a breath. Inhale, lift the right leg. Step it through in between the hands without lifting the hands. Okay, we're coming to warrior 2 pose from here. So turn that left foot out, cartwheel your arms up. Come to warrior 2 and let's pause. Can we feel grounded in warrior 2 today? So really think about pressing down into the feet, particularly this back foot. So the little toe edge is really gripping the floor. There's a real connection here between the feet and the earth, but it's not just a flat pushing down. We're also trying to pull up a little bit, pulling that energy from the ground up through the legs, through the torso, even out through the fingertips. Look over that right middle finger. Look down at that front knee, and can you send it just slightly to the right hand side? Now that you're in the shape of warrior 2, allow it to just feel grounding. So if that means it's not as deep as you normally go, that's fine. Feel grounded in warrior 2 rather than caring too much about what this looks like. Lean onto your back leg, reverse your warrior. Again, head can just hang wherever. You could even close the eyes. Connect to whatever you can touch with your hand, with your feet. Come all the way up into a side angle. We're just going to lean onto the front leg. Bring that left arm up by the ear. Okay, we've got a little funky transition from here, so come with me, we'll do this all together at the same time. From here, we're going to take our hands towards the back of the mat, turn on your toes and drag your right shin in, and we're in a seated twist. So I'm in a seated twist and facing the side of my mat away from you. My right leg is underneath, my left leg is on top, so if you didn't quite get there, just find your way there. Make sure you're not sitting on top of your foot, it can be just at the side. And then fingertips into the floor. And just use your fingertips to feel like you're sitting up taller. So close your eyes whilst you're here and just allow yourself to feel heavy through the lower body, but light and tall through the torso, through the upper body. If you want to, you can have a little wiggle from the hips so the whole torso can take some circles. some seated cat-cows, or you can just move around with the shoulders, the ribs. Okay, from here, blink your eyes open, come with me. So we're going to put the weight into the left foot. We're at the back of the mat, we're going to lift the hips and turn, and you're going to just tuck your right foot behind the left foot. We're at the back of the mat. We're going to do this a few times today, so if you didn't get it that time, don't worry. Bend your knees a little bit, and fingertips can either be in front of you or straight down. And just have a little shimmy side to side. Hands in front of you, crawl along your mat and crossing your feet. And just take this little bear crawl to the front of the mat. Feet are together. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward, fold down. Inhale, lift to Utkatasana, bend your knees, chair pose, lift all the way up. Exhale, forward, fold over the legs. Inhale, lift halfway, step or jump into plank. Chaturanga, or low with or without knees, up to you. Up dog or low cobra. Downwards facing dog. Inhale, the left leg rises. Step it all the way through, in between your hands at the top of the mat. Try not to lift those hands, turn the back foot out. Come up, find your warrior two. And then just like before, really feel into warrior two. So it doesn't have to look perfect. We're trying to feel grounded today. Whatever that means to you. Let's reverse our warrior, lean on the back leg. Let your head hang. Press into the back leg with the right hand. Really feel that connection of the hand on your thigh. Come up and lean forwards into side angle pose. Internally rotate that top arm a little bit so it feels like your arm is coming closer to your face, little finger is down. Let the head just hang. Okay, and then let's try this again. So if it went a bit wrong on the first side, doesn't matter. Start to take your hands towards the back of the mat. So big cartwheel of the hands towards your right foot, turn the right foot, left hand down, drag your left leg in. Seated twist facing the side of your mat. Sit up tall. It can be Gomukhasana if you want to do that with the legs, or you can just sit however. Fingertips down, sit tall, and you're pushing into the floor to lift up taller in the spine. Close your eyes. Let your legs just feel heavy. Wiggle your shoulders if you like to. Rib cage. Try and keep your pelvis as still as you can. So you're just moving the top part of the body, or you can just sit still and feel that connection through the fingers into the ground. Feeling heavy in the lower body and light in your upper body. Okay, we're going to do that unravel from here. So weight is going to go into this foot, the right foot at the back of your mat. We're going to lift onto the shin, lift the hips. Keep walking your hands around. Tuck your left foot behind your right foot so that the legs are crossed. Bend your knees a little bit or a lot, up to you. And shimmy at the back of the mat. Okay, untuck your legs, so uncross them, and bear crawl to the front of the mat, however you want to crawl. Coming to the front, inhale, lift up halfway first. Exhale, fold down over your legs. Utkatasana, come up, chair pose. Come all the way up to standing. Well done. We're going to do that again. This time we're going to go a little bit quicker. And a bit of a challenge for you to actually just not use your hands. Obviously, you have to use your hands in down dog and poses like that. But for as much of the poses as possible, we'll try and have our hands in prayer. That's optional, up to you. So, hands in prayer as much as you can, Or we can just go with what we did before. So Utkatasana, chair pose. Take an inhale. Exhale, fold down over the legs. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step into plank. Chaturanga or lower all the way down. Inhale, up dog or low cobra. Exhale, downwards facing dog. Lift the right leg, step it forward in between the hands at the top. Let's come up to warrior two. Now warrior two, if you're doing hands free, we're going to bring our hands to prayer instead. Elbows can be out or just relaxed. Ground through the feet. Feel that connection to the floor beneath you. So focus on feet rather than how low you go or what your alignment is and whether it's perfect. Just really focus on your feet here. Grip down with the little toe edges. And feel like you're pulling energy up through the floor, through the feet, up through the legs. Reverse your warrior, maybe keeping your hands in prayer. So we're looking for a side body stretch. So without the hands, we have to think about where that stretch will be. How can we find it? Come forwards into side angle. Maybe you can take it so that the right elbow just taps the thigh, but that there's no weight there at all. So it's just touching, it's not leaning. Okay, we'll try this without the hands maybe. Go towards your back foot. Start to turn as if you're facing the back. Drag your right shin in. Right shin is down. And you're in your seated twist. Sit up really nice and tall. If you want to play with the same options, you can move your chest. You can leave the hands on the floor, up to you. If your hands are in prayer, keep them in prayer. We're going to spin towards the back of the mat. Come up onto your left foot. Drag your right foot behind the left. Come into a fold, knees can be bent. Maybe a ragdoll here this time, so grabbing opposite elbows and hanging over the legs. There might be a wobble. Now release your hands to the floor and bear crawl your way all the way to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold down. Utkatasana, chair pose. Either hands in prayer or up in the air. Take an inhale. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Step or jump back into plank. Chaturanga or lower down, your choice. Inhale, up dog or low cobra. Exhale, downwards facing dog. From down dog, lift your left leg up high in the air. Step it through in between the hands at the top. Warrior two, lifting up. Maybe your hands are going to be in prayer. Maybe traditional warrior two. Again, you decide. Connect your feet to the earth. Maybe we now reverse our warrior. And again, it doesn't have to, when we lean, we might not be thinking about finding the side body stretch. So from here, what do you have to do to feel a stretch in the left side of your torso? Come up and lean forwards with or without the hands. You might take it so far so the elbow just taps the thigh, but there's no weight going through it at all. Okay, lift up. Start to move your weight towards the right foot at the back of the mat. Drag the left shin in and down. Seated twist. Hands can be in prayer or down at the sides. Up to you. Sit up tall. Take a moment. Close your eyes. If you want to wiggle the chest, you can. Shoulders, you can. But let your legs feel heavy. If you're pressing into the ground, use that connection to feel like the lower body is heavy and the upper body is light. Okay, from here to the back of the mat. So put the weight into the right foot. Twist, 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 twist. Left leg behind. And come into a fold. Hands can be either in prayer, maybe a reverse prayer, maybe ragdoll arms. Hands drop to the floor and crawl your way to the front of the mat. From the front of the mat, inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, lift all the way up to standing this time. Hands to prayer at your heart centre. Let's find some balance from here. So, prayer hands, bring your right leg up in front of you, bend the knee. Like you're stepping on a big step, just holding it here. And then we're just going to internally and externally rotate that leg. So it looks a bit like a windscreen wiper, side to side. The ankle comes in, the heel comes in even, and the heel comes out to the side. And try to get that feeling that it's coming from right deep inside your hip. If you want to bring your hands onto the pelvis here and make sure that this isn't moving, so the leg is moving, but with your hands on your hips, these shouldn't be moving too much, maybe the tiniest little bit, but we're trying not to. Bring it back into the centre. We're going to come back into our low lunge, so lean forward. Drop the right toes to the floor behind you, drop the knee down. Bring both hands down to the floor. Option. You can either just bend that back leg. If that's a bit harsh on your knee, just grab something to put underneath your knee. And if that's not for you, just stay here in the lunge, maybe even lifting the knee, that's okay as well. If you can lift the knee, the leg up and bend the knee, then you can put your right hand on the floor, bring the left arm back and take hold. And then try not to press your hips all the way towards the floor. Instead, feel like you're squeezing everything in your hips together. So imagine the lower core is pulling in, imagine the glutes are squeezing. Imagine you're trying to squeeze everything around your hips right into the center of your hips, holding lizard. And slowly release the back leg all the way down, carefully. Okay, so from here, drag your front foot in just a little bit. We're going to try going straight into warrior 3 from here. It's quite unusual if you've not come from the floor before, but load the weight into the left foot, kick the right leg up in the air, and then start to lift your hands, bring them up to prayer at your heart. Find your warrior 3, and really hold it, find your balance. Then come all the way back up to standing. Awesome. Second side. Left leg lifts and holds. Stand tall. And then we're going to internally and externally rotate the leg, and you can take your hands onto your hips and just feel what's going on there. So try not to move anything underneath these hands and just get the movement coming from right deep in here. Okay, from here, lean forwards first, left toes down, left knee drops down into your low lunge. From your low lunge, hands to the floor, find your lizard. Same option, maybe bend the back knee, maybe the right hand reaches back. So it's the opposite hand to opposite leg, right hand to left foot. And it's tempting to just press the hips towards the floor like this, but instead pull everything in. Almost imagine you're really trying to squeeze your thighs together, pull in the lower belly, squeeze the glutes. Hopefully you're still going to feel it, maybe even more. Release that back leg. Drag the right foot slightly back. Put the weight in the right foot. Warrior 3. Lift up, catch it, and hold. Come up to standing and release down. Okay, from here, inhale, lift the hands. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Step straight into your downwards facing dog this time. Take a moment in down dog. And then let's drop the knees down to child's pose, dropping the head to the floor. Slowly roll your way up to a seated position from your child's pose, and we'll just bring the legs forwards along the ground. Come to lie on your back. Bring the knees so that they point up to the ceiling. Bring your right foot so that the right ankle is just below the left knee. Guide the right knee out to the side. Bit of external rotation for the right leg here. Bring your hands over your heart and we're just going to hold it here. You can press your right knee further away if you want to. You can keep it quite soft. Just take this moment to observe any energy through your body that this small amount of movement has generated. Observe how you feel. Swap your legs over in your own time. Left leg is on top and you're guiding your left knee away. Feel the heaviness of your back on the floor. Your skull on the floor. Feel the weight of your hands on your heart space. Carefully release your legs. Let's come to lie down in your Shavasana. Hands can maybe stay on your heart if you're enjoying the weight, the pressure. Otherwise, hands by the sides, maybe even a blanket over you. And just imagine for a moment that you have a weighted blanket that's placed over your body. And you feel that slight extra bit of pressure on your body that helps your body to feel like it's sinking into the ground. Take a moment to feel at home in your skin, in your body, without wishing for anything to be different, without wanting change. Just feel at home today. Feel at home on your yoga mat or in your dedicated space. Feel secure. Feel grounded. I invite you to stay here. If you can just press pause and stay for longer. Or you can just stay here, ignoring my voice. Otherwise, slowly bring yourself up to seated. Take any stretches, first of all, any movements, any wiggles. And in your seated position, bring your hands to prayer at your heart. Take a final deep breath, a sigh, a smile. A final moment for you, whatever it is that you need. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.